Oh, yeah, Central repping those mighty Eagles, NCCU. We are AudioNet. This is Channel 9. You're inside of the block. The last block of the People's Show. You're hanging out with your boy, G. Jones, the People's Champion. We still got some more entertainment news to talk about, guys. These stars just can't seem to stay out of trouble. And over covering some of these stories over the past 2 weeks, I haven't. It's been the same ones over and over again that seem to be in trouble. The Justin Biebers, the what's the girl's name? Amanda Bynes. Amanda Bynes. I don't know the plural. The same ones over and over again. And this one too, Chris Breezy. By the way, for you Twitter followers calling yourselves the Breezettes, the Breezette Army, you guys have got to get a life, okay? Every time somebody says something negative about this guy on Twitter or on a live radio show like mine or on Facebook, these Breezettes, the Breezette Army, comes out of nowhere and starts defending him. You know, if somebody makes a punch drunk Rihanna joke, all of a sudden the Breezettes run to the rescue. They're like his little personal ego army. Amazing. Of 12-year-old girls, I bet, that had never been hit by a man. That's that's what I'm sure his army consists of. So, enough personal bashing of Chris Brown. Let me just tell you what's in the news, okay? Remember that Chris Brown and Frank Ocean, and this is something I didn't even know. You know, and I'm not saying this because Frank Ocean is gay, but I didn't see him as a fighter. He doesn't strike me as the rough and tough rumble type. Not because he's gay. Because let me stop with Chris Bosh. Let me get off Chris Bosh. Anyway, apparently Chris Brown and Frank Ocean last January were outside a recording studio and got into a fight. I don't know if Frank Ocean got beat up. I don't know if Chris Brown got beat up, but somebody got beat up. And the LA County DA's office has an active file deciding whether or not to prosecute Chris Brown for battery. Now, this is in addition to what the People's Show reported to you guys last week, that Chris Brown is also being investigated for the alleged hit and run. Covered that last week. But the interesting thing about this story is Frank Ocean, he didn't press any charges. Case is still under review. The DA said, I don't care. You can get beat up and not say anything if you want to. The LA County District Attorney's Office for sure has it out for Chris Brown. For sure. I'm sure that as a prosecutorial attorney, to see these stars and celebrities with money that keep screwing up, that, you know, the Lindsay Lohans and you know, on and on and on, et cetera, it's time to put a stop to it. I'm sure that they do want to make an example. And I tell you, Chris Brown that's a hell of an example to make. You know, the guy just can't seem to stay out of trouble. Maybe he does need some jail time, if just to protect himself from himself. Guy's going to derail his career before it ever really had a chance to create a legacy. I mean, doesn't everybody want to be Quincy Jones? At the end of the day, catch some kind of lifetime achievement award, some kind of award ceremony. Yeah, just what I think. It's possible that the Chris Brown, Frank Ocean incident could come up at Chris Brown's probation review hearing, because Brown was supposed to be in court and the judge could raise the issue that because Chris Brown was ordered to obey all laws while on probation, he could go to jail. He could go to jail for this. He could go to jail for the hit and run. Come on. Breezy, where you at? So, I'm going to tell you this. Breezettes, the Breezette Army, take it easy on me on Facebook and Twitter. Take it easy, man. In other news, Paris Jackson, Michael Jackson's sister, was transferred to the UCLA Medical Center, let's see, yesterday evening, effectively ending her 72-hour psychiatric hold. So they had her in the loony bin for 3 days because she was a risk to herself. Joe Jackson did so, and I know y'all saw the movie, the Jackson 5 movie, and how crazy Joe Jackson was. Joe Jackson did it to these kids. I'm convinced that if he hadn't been such a stage dad, maybe his offspring wouldn't have turned out so crazy. Look at Tito Jackson. When was the last time you heard anything sane come out of Tito Jackson's mouth? LaToya Jackson, posing for Playboy. Man, I could go on and on about the Jacksons. Not even mentioning the shadiness surrounding Michael Jackson's death himself. Anyway, Paris Jackson was rushed to the hospital early Wednesday morning after she cut her forearm with a meat cleaver. So they placed her in a psychiatric hold for 72 hours. TMZ actually spotted Paris Jackson and a slew of her bodyguards outside of the medical center as she was being wheeled in. They tried to get an update from one of the bodyguards. He didn't want to talk about it. Keep in mind, though, this UCLA Medical Center is the exact same hospital that her brother Michael was taken to back in 2009, where he would later die. So that is where he died at, and or rather where he went into cardiac arrest at, and they responded to that at. And that's where Paris Jackson is right now, after trying to saw her own arm off with a meat cleaver. Oh boy. Oh boy. Again, I go back to something about the money, something about the fame, but most certainly, in their specific case, something about the daddy. Hey guys, you want to hear something before I get out of here in about another 30 minutes? That's cool. Give me a call, 919-530-7449. That number again is 919-530-7449. You can follow us at Twitter, AudioNet_9. You can follow me, G Jones, 007, no space, no underscore necessary. You don't even have to capitalize anything. That's all informal. I like to keep it with you Centralites and the world. Doing big things here. Hit me up on Facebook, very simple, Greg Jones. You'll see all the posts. I try to update snippets from the show on the Facebook, live on air as we do it. You know how I do. I'm here for you. We're doing big things inside of Studio G, inside of the Harrison Newton Communications building right here on the campus of NCCU. We are your student and information station, guys. This is AudioNet Channel 9. Stay tuned. We got another 30 minutes of good stuff coming up for you guys and a little bit of politic news. I'm just going to touch on one or two things that I think we need to discuss, guys. So hang in there. We're doing big things, guys. Stay tuned.